Like I say, what it really comes down to is pretty much Germany, well, for one thing, had a printing press, had the financial printing press, and basically the United States and other governments would request money from to be printed in Germany. And the Germany printing press would print cash and also the newspaper. At nighttime, it would print the currency. It had all the different silver plates, silver mined inside an LS mining camp or mining facility, using my big old steam and curved wheels, steam mining equipment. So anyway, so at nighttime they would print all the different, like four different world currencies would be printed in paper in Germany. So basically, Nixon or JFK wants that printing press so he can print money, and he basically was running the Republican Party pretty much using the small printing press. There's a small little printing press with like two plates in there, at the White House, and so he was printing money using that small one to basically fund the Republican Party. But he needed more money, and so he eventually buys enough planes or does this plot where he finally can raid or attack Germany, and basically he's hiring mercenaries to go and try and bomb Germany, basically. And Germany also knows about me and loves me very much and cares about me very much and wanted me to live and stuff, and also, because I'm like the creator of humanity and 12 other races and particle life and all that other stuff. Anyway, and was a protector of life forms for a long, long, long time. And a lot of people are like, Brian, yeah, la, la, la. It's really annoying. They're really, really, really annoying. Anyway, though, I don't really care. I'm just explaining it the way it is or the way it was. Or what happened, pretty much, and why it happened. Because everyone's like, oh, there's all this news and all this other stuff, and everyone's like, what's going on? What's going on? Basically, they passed around Marilyn Monroe like she was a cheap slut. There was like 5 or 6 Kennedy clones, which they called themselves brothers, but they were actually clones that would all birthed out of Jackie Kennedy. They basically changed her to the floor and pretty much turned into a baby birthing factory for clones. So they birthed all these Kennedy clones, basically, that no one knew about. And Kennedy was just basically wandering around going, oh, no, 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 I wasn't here. He would just smoke a cigarette and he'd walk to his car calmly and then drive off. And people would be like, it was that guy, it was that guy. And even get him on camera leaving. And he would just wear a hat or something like that. He'd be like, no, 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 it wasn't me. Because there was also, and Nixon was even worse because, and technically his I don't know. Anyway, because his fingerprints shouldn't be the same. Anyway, though, they were doing a whole bunch of hiding and lying and the changing of computer facts because, anyway, they got a lot further and had a lot better time when we went with the computer system because they started changing things around. Although a lot of the investigators, all the police officers were like, this ain't right, because we use local police officers. So a lot of police officers were like, the computer system's nuts. Like, this is bullshit. And a lot of people knew that the computer system was hacked or broken or something. Anyway, though, I don't really know all that much about it. I just know there's all this corruption and lies, and pretty much no one knows what's really going on. And pretty much they were printing money and having all these wild sex and drug parties, in Washington, D.C. and doing all this stuff. And basically the White House, like I said, was used to torture like 50 Chinese and 50 Germans, and they tortured all these people, and they snuck in all these girls, and then they killed them inside the White House, and then snuck them out inside the mine, because like I say, there's a mining shaft that goes all the way to the Washington, D.C. building, past the White House, and then goes all the way down to the docks, basically, to where the supposed Kennedys had their private yacht, which was actually my private yacht, and basically JFK was lying about everything, pretty much, and has been lying. So anyway, I don't really care. It's like whatever. But basically, and they called it Camel Toe a lot, not actually Camelot. And basically, it was pretty much the Kennedy private state, supposedly, inside of Cuba, or not Cuba, I mean Colombia. And basically, it was one of my private resorts, and pretty much, a bunch of USAF people wearing body armor suits had gone down there and killed everyone. And basically, no one could really punch everyone. Like they were going around like saying, "We're immortal, we're immortal." And what they were doing basically is, like I said, they would have people inside these rooms, and they would wear the suits into a room. Then they would take the suits off. Then they would sneak out, and then other young kids would get inside the suits and walk away. So people would think that the suits were walking away or something. Anyway, it's weird. They did all this weird stuff where the people that, would do all the bad stuff, and then they would, what's it called? And then later on, anyway, I don't really care. It's like, but they're doing like the switch or something like that. And then these people wearing the suits, these kids would take off the suits, and you would think there were these young kids, but it was actually these other people that were actually wearing the suits or something like that. And I don't, it's this big confusion, like shell game, as they say. And I was like, wow, that's just weird. Just take the 30 millimeter cannon. You find one of those people wearing the suits. You use a 30 millimeter cannon, and you just go, just rain bullets down on them. They'll go, and like I say, you just wait for one to land, and then you just quickly, on a gun mount, you just quickly walk it right to the suit of armor, and then goodbye, motherfucker. And that's all it takes. 30 millimeter cannon will punch right through those suits like it was nothing. They're not really that tough. It's not like force fields or anything like that. They're just titanium plate. It's just like for normal small arms, like they're pretty tough. You can't use a handgun on them. Maybe the face shield. It's easier just to get a downward arc. The top is a little bit better armored, but not that better armored. A 30 millimeter cannon will just punch right through them like butter. You have to use a hardened shell, of course, but yeah, pretty much. It's not that big of a deal. Anyway, they're damn tough to kill, but they're not impossible. So anyway, they were running around suppressing the fact that the suits even existed or who made the suits, and it's China basically. Basically, they were in China. They broke into this facility. They found the suits, and then they started running around like Crimson Gods, and basically just doing targeted attacks. And pretty much, they're not that hard to kill, and everyone hated them. So because they were rapists and killers and just running drugs or something. They hadn't made the suits, they didn't know how they worked, but they got damaged, so they needed some young kids, the USAF people, those young kids. Anyway, there's older USAF people. Armored, it stands for United States Armored Force. Oh, Alfa Romeo. Anyway, it's basically Nixon's private bitch squad, pretty much, and John McCain's private bitch squad using armor. And basically, they're just terrorizing the world and tearing up the Middle East, pretty much. So if you see the suits, they're not motorcycle helmets. They're titanium, Kevlar, ceramic plate, and then Kevlar, and then another titanium sheet or something like that. And they're just damn hard to kill. Anyway, not impossible though. Like I said, 30 millimeter cannon punch right through them, like butter. Yeah. So anyway, so we get them on camera killing a bunch of Indians and a bunch of other people outside the LSF SR-71. 71 aircraft, supersonic aircraft, back in like 1950. So, and then Nixon and JFK try and say that the skunk works. Lucky did it. It wasn't them. But anyway, so they needed me to basically change my company name into Lockheed, so to actually even make it legitimate. Otherwise, everyone would laugh at them, and everyone laughed at them anyway. So anyway, it's just a bunch of sex, a bunch of heroin, and a bunch of hallucinogens, and people throwing other people off of buildings, saying that they got high and then jumped, and it's just the women that they raped or whatever, and they just threw them off buildings and stuff like that. It's just one way to kill someone and try and say that it was a suicide. But it really wasn't suicide. They were all pushed or thrown from the rooftops. So, yeah. And it was just so they could get money or something or not have to pay them.